or something. It's so, naked people and immorality. The bottom line is that with a smartphone in everyone's hands and education becoming more computer-centered, all learning can be tracked and given a value. This will be a strong lure for those who are in traditional and non-traditional schools, but we have to notice that global values, anti-family, God and country will be inserted into every corner of this. And then she says, parents need to be aware that there are people organizing the future of education, and they are not including families, teachers, or even most administrators in the process. Parents, educators, and local politicians can't spend precious energy justifying each small change in the structure and control of education at the expense of seeing the end goal. We have to use what we learn at the UN and mix it with what the business community, technology community, and social agenda communities are doing to get the full picture of what's going on. So this is why I've been doing this for 6 years, why I'm boring my husband to death, because the full picture, once you start to see it, becomes one where you realize why Elder Oaks and others are talking about the fight for religious freedom. And I go around my neighborhood sometimes and I feel like I'm the only one talking about how we're going to be affected, how are the way our children being taught and what they're learning going to impact our freedom of speech, our freedom of conscience. Did you have a question?
No, I'm just trying to hear you.
Oh, okay.
For you.
So there's a reason why the globalist technocrats needed to pass the new law that just replaced No Child Left Behind, called the Every Student Succeeds Act. And it succeeds at implementing the Mark Tucker, Hillary Clinton vision for education, where children and citizens' values, attitudes, and behaviors are surveillanced in all stages of life and tracked and manipulated in order to build a progressive utopian, which you will all recognize as really a dystopian society. And another person that really understands what Jenny Baker was talking about is a well-known liberal education. He's a teacher, and he blogs a lot on education issues, and his name's Peter Green. And he recently was invited to speak at the Americans for Prosperity conference in Salt Lake on current education reforms. And in a recent blog post, and he was so upset about what he was studying that you see that gray box up there was where he was using swear words, so I had to block it out. But he writes about something called the Ledger, which is being produced by the ACT and another group called the Institute for the Future. And Peter wrote, if you want to see where competency-based education, data mining, the cradle-to-career pipeline, the gig economy, and the transformation into a master-servant class society intersect, boy, have I got a video for you. And then he posted a video. Let me see if I can get out to it. This is Gail's computer, so I keep needing to ask her to help me. You might have to help me get to that internet, Gail. So this is a 6-minute video. Can I just drag this down? Oh, it's the 3-finger thing. Yeah, no, yeah. That's so funny. There we go. Let's see if we can scroll down with this video.
Remember when you're through that you
So what's the name of the video?
Okay, so this is a video, hold on, that he posted on his blog, and it's created by the ACT and this Institute for the Future. This is their vision for what they want to start doing with education, how they want to start turning education into a currency, people into a commodity. And it's called, there's a product that they're going to start providing, it's called the Ledger. So then they got actors to come in, and they did a very nice job on this beautiful video. And it really explains concisely where we're headed, and so I think it's worth watching the full 6 minutes. Hopefully you'll be able to
embarrassed to choose the subject.
Some people in the front row here. Okay, let's start it
You
over.
can also use the ledger to find investors in your education. Since the ledger is already tracking income earned,
Go back. Sorry, there's never a technical person here for very long. The library, I might have to.
JaKell, we can summarize.
Yeah, we can summarize. Allison can tell you. Do you want to talk about it instead of showing it?
It just shows, why don't you come up to the microphone now?
I can't hear Allison.
You can hear it better now.
Yeah, we can hear it good.
Tell me if it's good enough.
your ledger account tracks everything you've ever learned in units called EduBlocks. Each EduBlock represents 1 hour of learning in a particular subject. Anyone can grant EduBlocks to anyone else. You can earn EduBlocks from a formal institution like a school or a workplace.
Allison, come on.
Why don't you turn the sound off and just have Allison come up and explain it? I couldn't hear it.
Do you mind coming up, Allison? I'm just going to leave it playing so you can kind of see the... Do you mind coming up? Allison's been studying this probably more than anybody.
It's just talking about how you can earn EduBlocks in a lot of different ways, and they can be rewarded through formal schooling or from employers or from other people and stuff like that. But and it's all tracked in this ledger. So basically, your value to society becomes this data profile tracked by this agency, and it shows people, instead of having jobs and employers hiring employees, it shows them. That's what the gig economy is. You're always scrambling for gigs. You're putting your data profile out there, and they'll hire you for a certain block of time, and even your pay, instead of paying, sometimes they're saying you're going to be paid for your work in more EduBlocks and things like that. And this is a truck driver. He's saying that he earns EduBlocks by listening to audiobooks or something like that. It shows another young woman later who she just barely passed a course, and she can earn back some EduBlocks to pay for her course by teaching that same course to somebody else. So you have, I joked on, I said, what's the algorithm, what's the half-life of your education, or the decay of your education when it's passed from novice to novice in 1 hour blocks of time. And anyway, but it's concerning to me for a couple of reasons. You're commoditizing people in a way that it shows that you can actually, in order to pay for your education, you can sell your future income to this person. And we're bringing back indentured servitude, kind of, is my first thought when I saw that. So this is...
about the ledger.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the slave owner's ledger, the way he tracked his slaves.
Yeah, so it's an interesting economy, and I'm not anti-tech. I'm a tech person. That was my career, and my whole family are tech entrepreneurs. But it's concerning to me not only for the tracking and what is valued as education. It's concerning to me that one of the things we're seeking for always in tech employment are people who are problem solvers, who bring really unique depth of knowledge in a subject matter that's not necessarily technical, and help us solve problems like that. And I see this conditioning a very interesting kind of population where